Good morning from Southend-on-Sea. It's Friday 27th of June 2025. Today we are visiting the Red Sand Sea Forts. Our journey starts with a 10-minute narrow-gauge train ride to the pier head where we pick up our Jetstream tour boat for the 3.5-hour round trip. As we leave Southend Pier Head, the weather is perfect and the sea is calm. Real-time information on ships and boats can be found on the Vessel Finder website.
And laying on the bottom. Well, interestingly enough, in one of the officers' diaries, they do actually state that yes, they shot down an airplane. It landed in the water, it's south of the towers. But actually, that location was nearly 2 miles away, and we've located that airplane. It's actually off to our left, closer to the Isle of Sheppey and Whitstable, but it's not here. Now, I brought you over here just to show you this disturbance. Now, if you're looking over the side, on our right-hand side, so we can keep an eye out for any prey. And the towers, well, I suppose, unsuspecting prey, passing pigeons are always a nice little delicacy for them. Life was pretty cruel out here. The servicemen, whilst they were positioned out here, they kept the forts maintained, they looked after them, and they were doing fairly well up until the 1960s. And of course, as soon as they were abandoned, this is when they started to decay. The servicemen invented various games to keep them entertained whilst they were off station, including tying bits of bacon to string and playing tugs of war with wildlife. Whilst we've got photographs of these towers in their heyday, we've also got them slowly decaying, and over the years the gantries that once connected all of the towers have ended up collapsing and falling into the water. They are, however, still out here, but rather than above our heads, there is now a tower gantry that now lays on the red sands, hoping that perhaps she could be patched up, repaired and sent back to work. After all, it was far quicker to repair a ship than it would be to try and build a new one. So, that all took place on the 31st of October 1940. The following night, we saw one of the biggest air raids going. The Germans were flying overhead. Sank 1st of November 1940. get where I'm coming from, all these vessels went down on the same night. The wreck of the Houston City, sitting there on the sandbank, was also abandoned, leaving her to sit on the edge. They came out here, they then continued blowing up the wrecks, reducing the height of the wreck down to basically litter, opening up the sea lanes to shipping once more. We then start looking at some of the other wrecks around, and I started putting dates on them. And one thing that struck me, the majority of the wrecks that went down in the Thames went down in 1939 and 1943. What happened after 1943? These towers were installed. They protected the Thames. They spotted the mines. They sent the minesweepers out there to collect the mines. They were shooting down the airplanes. And of course, after that, the Luftwaffe were now moving away from the Thames, flying into over Norfolk. The Thames was now guarded. As a result, we saw fewer and fewer planes going down. They were instrumental. I think, had they have not been positioned out here when they were, we probably could have seen a far more casualties, to put it that way. So on the subject of wrecks now, we are heading on upriver back towards Southend. We're going to go and discover a wreck that we can still see. This is the wreck site of the SS Richard Montgomery. We are simply following the last little bit of the flood tide back up towards here. So I'm going to be handing the boat over very shortly to my esteemed colleague here, and he's going to be navigating us back up towards
As we return to Southend Pier from an excellent boat trip, I would highly recommend it if you are in the area.
Once again, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for travelling with us. We look forward to seeing you. Thanks a lot.